Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to a new episode of the LDM show. Today is a special show. We actually have a guest from the United States, and what she's going to be speaking about is Street Dawah USA. So, Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. So, to begin off with, could you please introduce your organization and how you guys started giving dawah and why?
Sure. We are pretty new. We are only about 2 months old or so. We have other organizations in the USA that do like booth dawah, but there was a need for street dawah like you guys are doing in UK. The booth dawah, it's not personable, it's not one-on-one, and unfortunately, non-Muslims, they don't come to us. We have to go to them because they are, I don't know, they have this misconception that they should be afraid of Muslims. So we're trying to clear up these misconceptions and approach them, either through the university or in the street or other types of activities that we're doing. So there's a great need for dawah in USA because there's quite a bit of ignorance, unfortunately, and people, they just don't know anything about Islam, and so there's definitely a need for the dawah.
Okay, excellent. Jazakallah khair for that. Now, in terms of why you started giving dawah yourself, I mean, I know that you yourself converted to Islam a few years ago. I mean, could you explain why this is personally important to you?
Sure. I've actually been Muslim for about almost 9 years. Alhamdulillah, I became Muslim when I was 16. So no one ever told me about Islam. I actually, when I heard about Islam, I was shocked and surprised that there was another religion other than Christianity.
Okay.
That's how ignorant I was. I grew up in the Bible Belt, and so I had no clue that there was even another religion other than Christianity. And when I heard about Islam, it was as simple as I bought a Quran and I read it and I became Muslim.
Wow.
So it was that simple. So I really didn't get started active in the dawah until maybe about 6 months or so, I guess, when I started working at my local college, and there were students coming up to me daily asking me, why are you wearing this? Why are you praying? I used to pray in the college in public, and they used to see me, and every single day I was getting questions. I used to read the Quran in public at my university or my college, and they used to ask me, what is this book you're reading? And I used to recite, and they used to hear me, and they said, what is this? It's amazing, it's beautiful, and I was constantly giving Qur'ans, and it was amazing how many people were interested. So this really motivated me to want to start this organization.
Okay, excellent. Jazakallah khair for that. Now, in terms of what teams you've actually set up, could you explain what teams you have set up and what challenges you face in sustaining those teams and setting up new teams?
Sure. We have a team in my local home city, which is St. Louis, Missouri. And then we have a team in Chicago, which is relatively active. We have a team in New York as well. And there's also a team in North Carolina and a few other states as well, but they're not that active. We started out, it was relatively easy, just, word of mouth and friend to friend, and that's basically how we started out. And we meet weekly, and we go out and give street dawah, or we give dawah in the universities. And
Okay.
So the main challenges that go ahead, what were you saying?
The main challenges you were saying?
Yeah, the main challenges that we face, I would have to say, is motivating people to actually do dawah. This is probably the main challenges that we face, is that in convincing people that that there's a need for dawah. Okay, they feel as if there's not the need for dawah in USA. They feel that that the Muslims themselves need dawah more than the non-Muslims need dawah. So this is probably one of the main challenges that we face. Another main challenge I would have to say is that keeping up with materials. We're giving dawah at such a fast pace, and we're giving so much material that we constantly need to order new material. But this is not a main challenge. Another challenge that we're facing is finding places to actually give dawah. Unfortunately, we don't have something like a speaker's corner. I know that in UK you guys have this amazing place called Speaker's Corner, and you can easily, challenge people in debate and have, amazing dawah conversations. But we don't have something like that. We have too many laws and regulations in USA where, if you stay too long outside of a certain place, the police will come and tell you to move. So that's an unfortunate thing that we're struggling with slightly. But alhamdulillah, we can do dawah through the MSAs, which are Muslim Student Associations, and also in the city publicly, they will never tell us to leave. So that's another plus. Also, the main thing that we're facing, which is a huge challenge, is USA is so massive, it's so huge, and keeping up with the new Muslims is an extreme difficulty. And fortunately and unfortunately, a lot of the new Muslims that are becoming Muslim are, relatively, poor. And so some of them, they don't have email, they don't have a way to communicate with them through email, so we cannot set them up through like emails or something like that. And some people we get shahada with them don't even have a cell phone, don't even have a phone number that we can contact them. So this is really a huge challenge. This is a huge difficulty to how can we follow up with them after they became Muslim. And it's kind of a sad thing to give them shahada, but alhamdulillah, at least we're saving them. But the follow up this is the biggest challenge, and we can't quite have. I know in UK they have the Muslim Now program, which is amazing. And we're trying to implement that here in USA, but it's extremely difficult because there's some Muslims, they took shahada, and there's not even a masjid within 4 or 5 hours from that person. So it's extremely difficult to try to get that person acquainted with Muslim sisters and Muslim brothers if there aren't any within 4 or 5 hours from them. It's a challenge, but alhamdulillah.
Sure. I mean, it's really surprising to hear the number of challenges you face now. It's really good to see, mashallah, that your team is showing a lot of steadfastness in terms of what they're doing. Now, to wrap up and finish, inshallah, if you could give some advice to someone out there who is thinking of starting up a dawah team and they're struggling, what's the one piece of advice that you would give them?
The main piece of advice that I would give to someone who's trying to start out is that don't think that you have to go so big, okay? Dawah, it's in our everyday life. It's as simple as this, as by just acting. My father, he became Muslim just by the way that he saw me change. He saw me change from, being, spoiled, hot and proud to a very respectful, honorable woman.
MashaAllah.
And he saw that great change in me, and he saw me change, my character completely changed, and he knew that was Islam that did that to me. Nothing else.
MashaAllah.
And so dawah, it's as simple as us just by giving dawah to our character. But the thing is if someone is trying to start out something, don't try to shoot so big. Okay, start out small, gradually, even if it's just you and your friend, and you're going out and you're giving dawah, and then gradually more people will come, and you will get more support. And don't think that you need to have this massive team or this massive organization, or you need to have all kinds of supplies. And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a lot of people in America, they think they need pamphlets, they need booklets, they need all of these different things to give dawah. But Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he didn't have pamphlets. He was a walking Quran, mashallah. Wow. And he gave dawah from himself. This is a dawah that we're trying to aim for. We don't need to sit behind a booth. We need to give personal dawah. This is this one-on-one type of dawah that we've been being really successful, alhamdulillah. There's a shop owner in New York, mashallah. He's doing an amazing job. He set up pamphlets in Quran in his shop, and whenever someone comes in, they linger and they see the pamphlets, they see the Quran, and they pick it up, and then they start having a conversation with him. And after 30 minutes, 1 hour, mashallah, he's getting shahada almost every single day in his shop.
Wow.
So it's gradual. It's gradual.
Wow.
Don't try to put too much on yourself.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's really, really good advice. I mean, mashallah, especially in terms of you don't need to go that big. We've sort of come to the end of the show, so I've sort of had to cut you out slightly. Sorry about that. So if you're out there, if you're a Dawah leader and you want to actually set up a team, you've heard from the sister of the struggles that she and her team have had and how they have dealt with them. And inshallah, in the rest of the shows that we're going to be filming, we're actually going to be speaking to Dawah leaders around the world. So please tune in then. Assalamu alaikum.